This conference will now be recorded.
We'll get started with the session today. What we'll do today is first a few minutes. There are many people who have asked about the e-library application, how to set it up in the machines, right? So I'll probably spend some 5-10 minutes initially on the how to use that application, how to download the Tomcat, how to download the WAR file from the uh, drive, how to set it up. We'll spend 5-10 minutes. And then what I will do is for everyone to understand the style of teaching and how what particular topic will be handled, I'll probably randomly pick a topic today and then go over that for the 20-30 minutes. And then we'll spend a few minutes again on the Q&A. Okay, fine. Let me go to the screens. Fine. So what you do is, first thing is when you get an access to the drive, right? Go to the my drive. You will get an access to this. Okay, once you make the payment and register it, I'll give you an access to this drive. Okay, you can go and download the Tomcat from internet. That is also fine. Or you can download it from the from here. Okay, what I will do is I'll upload my whatever I'm using it. I'll zip it and then I'll upload it here, so that you don't need to do any other configuration as such. Okay, but you can also directly download the Tomcat from the internet also. That is also fine. That is not a problem. Okay. I'll just put it here. In the main folder, you can download the Tomcat. Okay, once you download the Tomcat as a zip file, just extract it. Okay, and then you go to the, you don't need to go and touch any other files. Okay, you can go to the web apps and then you download the WAR file. You can download the WAR file from respective folders. For example, when we are going to learn about the response time analysis, you can go to the response time analysis folder. You can go to the 2024, and then you can go and download these WAR file. Okay. For example, if I download this WAR file, you download the WAR file, you download it from here, and then from your downloads, copy this, okay, and then paste it inside the web apps folder in the Tomcat, in the web apps, paste it. Once you paste it, rename this to EL library, E caps, L caps, E library, like the way it appears here, right? E library.war, E caps, L caps. Okay. First two letters are caps. Okay. So whatever WAR file you're going to download, you might be downloading for a thread issue, memory issue. It will have a different naming convention in the drive. Okay. But whenever you go and copy this into web apps, always rename it to like this. Okay. Once this is done, okay, go to your bin folder. Okay. And then go to command prompt. I'll just stop this. Okay. Yeah. Go to command prompt from here. And then do a startup.bat. Okay. See, so you might get a problem with respect to opening the Tomcat. The reason could be, one, your Java might not be installed. Okay. So before doing this, go and check your environmental variable. You can go and say Java-version. You will get the version whatever that is installed in your machine. Okay. So Java 8 or Java 11, whatever it is, that is okay. If you have Java 8, it is it is good because a lot of the softwares are compatible with Java 8, whatever I'm going to give it. Even otherwise, that is not a problem. Even if it is going to have a Java 17 or 18, that is still okay. You don't need to worry about it. There will be some compatibility issue with few softwares, but we can figure it out. Okay, so check Java version, and also go to your environmental variable. Okay, you can download Java from Oracle. Okay, you can go and download the JDK from Oracle website. Somebody is commenting, Ramesh. Yes, Ramesh, you have any question?
So prerequisite should have the strong knowledge in Python or Java or performance testing. I mean, like Jmeter or something.
See,
Because
Java,
I
Python
see.
knowledge and all, it is not required. Okay, for performance testing and engineering, we are not going to write any coding or any programs here. So knowledge in Java and Python is not mandatory. If somebody is going to have that knowledge, it is good to have, but it is not mandatory. Number one. Number two, Jmeter and LoadRunner is a second question, right, Ramesh?
Yeah, yeah. Yes, sir.
See, Jmeter for performance testing as such, yes, you might need to learn at least one tool more from a testing perspective, Jmeter or LoadRunner or any other performance testing tool.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
you can reach out to me tomorrow. I was having a couple of discussion with many people today. You can also reach out to me tomorrow, depending upon your current experience and skill set. We can recommend the proper course for you, Ramesh.
Yeah, yeah. I'll call you. I think number I don't have. Or you can text me. I can call you, sir.
You are in the WhatsApp group, right? In the WhatsApp group, I would have given my number. If not, I'll just send my number here. You can WhatsApp me, okay?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, sir.
Okay, fine. So after checking the version, Java version, right? What you can do is you can go to the environmental variables, muting the notification. I'm not very sure. Let me try check it out later, and I'll do it tomorrow. I don't know how to mute the notification. Sorry for that. So okay. So come to the environmental variables, and then make sure that you have Java Om is available in the system variables. Okay. So your Java, there should be an entry for Java. Okay. It should point to your JDK folder, and then your Java Om should point up to your JDK, and Java should be up to your bin. Okay. See, when you install Java, right, what will happen is we go to your program files. I'll explain about all this JDK, JRE and all when we go into a Java basics. But for a Tomcat setup, I'm saying once you install Java is straightforward. Very download the Java from Oracle, and you can just click. Your JDK will get installed. Okay. If you go to JDK, if you go to bin, okay, here you will have a Java.exe. So your computer should know, your laptop should know where is the Java is present in your laptop. For that, you need to take this path. You're saying your laptop, any software which needs Java, go and refer to this path. That's what you're trying to create a variable. It's an environmental variable. So any applications in your laptop, if it is requiring a Java, it will go and check in this environmental variable, where is the Java present. So for that, we are creating a variable called Java and then providing a path of this Java directory. Okay, that's Java. Similarly, Java Om is, what is a Om directory? Om directory is up to JDK path. Okay, add these two and go to the path as well. In the path as well, you provide a same java.exe path up to the bin folder. Okay, create a new entry and then add this. Okay, so three things: Java Om path, you add it, and then come back and then open the command prompt, type for Java version. You should get this. Okay, that's the first prerequisite. Download Java, install Java in your version, set the environmental variables like what I did, and then check for the version. This could be one of the problem if your Tomcat is not starting. Otherwise, you should get a message like this. the server started in certain milliseconds. Okay, so now you're so which means it's just a matter of 5 minutes, right? You're going to download the Tomcat from my drive, unzip it, and then go to the web apps folder, download the war file, rename it, and then go to the bin folder of Tomcat, and then you're going to double click on the startup.bat, and then you will get this. So couple of minutes, you will have this started. Nothing complex, no big technical aspect here. What I did is a deployment. Okay, I have deployed a Java application, a Java war file in a Tomcat server. Okay, so the server is started, and then you can go to the localhost 8083/e-library. That's it. Okay, and then you can give admin at jtp.com, admin 123. Okay, so this is the default user ID and password, admin at jtp.com, admin 123. Okay, it is done. Okay, so deployment is done, and then you have logged in. That's a basic setup. Okay, so this is something you can do it and have it ready. You don't worry about the database setup and all that. I'll tell you later. But for initial classes, this itself is more than enough. Java, Tomcat, download the war file, deploy it, access the application. Okay, you can download this no DB call August 7 so that you will not have any dependency on database. Okay, so don't download DB call, download no DB call and rename it and then deploy it for your first part of the setup. Later, I will tell you about how to do a database setup, how to connect the e-library with the MySQL database. All these things I will explain later. Again, all these things are all, even though I talk about database deployment, it's all very, very simple things. Okay, don't even worry about you will be able to do it or not. Whatever I do, you will be able to do it in your laptop. Okay, there's a question. Yeah, Prithvi, go ahead. Okay, no problem. Fine. So once this is done, your laptop is now ready for using the e-library application. Okay, anybody have any questions, guys? Even if it is a very simple question or basic questions, don't hesitate, please ask. Yeah, Shriya, Guru Manohar, you can go ahead with the questions.
Hi, Satish. So, is this setup needed for today's class?
No, not for today's class.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, hi Satish. Actually, I joined a little late, so this. I mean, I need a Tomcat as well, right? I have a Java in my system. I have to download the Tomcat, then download this war file.
Correct. Yes. Tomcat is also available in the drive, is what I was saying. In this main folder, you will have the Tomcat, and you can download, and you can download the war file, and you can deploy it. You can probably listen to that first 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the video tomorrow, and you can follow the video, and then you can do it.
Sure. Yeah, thanks.
Sure. Okay. Okay. There is a question on you want to look into the Tomcat directory structure, Akash. Okay, no problem. So if you have Tomcat, right, in the bin folder, you will have the startup, you have a shutdown, and more importantly, you have something called Catalina.bat file. Okay, if you go to the Catalina file, that is where you will find the startup command, startup options for JVM. You can tell when JVM starts what additional attributes has to be given. For example, I can give a XMS and XMS, right? These are the minimum heap and maximum heap. I can define what heap memory I have to give for my Java application. So these things will be there. There are a couple of things, there are other options which I will tell later, like out of memory warnings, a couple of GC flags, remote monitoring, JProfiler agent. All these things can be added, but very importantly, basic thing is setting up your min and max. Okay, so this is going to be part of the Catalina.bat file. You don't need to touch anything for now. Let it be as it is, whatever it is here. And then if you go back to the configuration file, in the configuration file, if you go to server.xml, there you will find the port. Okay, 8083. If you want to change the port in your machine, if you want to use 8084 or 8082, you can change this. Okay, so that in the browser, instead of 8083, you can use 8082 or 8081. Depends upon what you're going to keep it here. And then these are the thread related configuration, max thread and minimum thread. Okay, how many threads you want the application to use. That configuration also going to be there in the server.xml. So these are the basic structure about your Tomcat that you have to know about, because we might be changing the thread configuration later. We might be changing the heap configuration later. And DevOps is the folder where you will go and copy the WAR file. Yeah.
So, Sumit, one
Wrapper
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So regarding the thread configuration, so this is the Tomcat threads, right? So sometimes like when we run the application, we got that okay, this is the application threads which causing the issue. Sometimes there's a Java native threads causing the issue. So is the same thing or it's a different thing?
It's the same thing. Whatever configuration you give it, your JVM will pick those and then execute it. So whatever you configure it at the server level, it is going to be used by your Java application threads.
But what is the difference between Java native threads and the application threads and Tomcat threads?
See, in for your JVM, for your web transactions, right? Whatever you access, for that, whatever you configure inside your configuration file, those are the let me go here again. So whatever you configure it in the server.xml, that is going to be used for your actual application traffic. Okay, all your logins, your view librarian, add librarian, 50 users, 100 users, whatever you're going to eat the server, that is going to be consumed by these threads. Okay. Apart from this, right, by Java itself has its own other things, like for example, garbage collection. Okay, garbage collection is also a kind of a software that will be running in the your JVM, right? Those also will require a threads. So if you look into actual, these are the 35 threads that are running in the Tomcat. Okay, and there are lot of these JMX related threads, RMA related threads, Catalina threads. But what we are going to application going to use is these 5 threads. Okay, that's because there are a lot of other background work that will be happening, like writing into a log file, garbage collections. So all are the your non-application threads. So those are the Java native threads. But the actual traffic, right, whatever we are going to hit it, those are going to be handled by your HTTP threads. These are the 5 threads that are going to be used by the application. So that's a basic difference. There are going to be many threads that will be running the background for doing the other activity, like example garbage collection. But for your actual application traffic, whatever you're going to configure in the server.xml, that is going to be used.
Hi Satish, I have a doubt. Just by seeing the name, you identified that these are the application threads, right?
Yeah, it will be you will have a HTTP and you will have a port and then you have a executor. So these are the executor threads with which you will be able to identify it. But if you go to the any tools, right? So these are the very native way of looking into it. If I, for example, if I go to say Dynatrace, for example, And let me go here, go to the threads. Okay. If you see here, I just went to the Tomcat, okay, and in the Tomcat, if I go to the process metrics, your further details, and then if you go to threads, automatically your Dynatrace will show your the threads which are running in 8083, which is nothing but these 5. For example, now all the threads are idle, right? There are 5 idle threads and 0 busy threads. These 5 refer to these 5 threads: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So which means in a tool like Dynatrace or any monitoring tool, you will not see the names. You will see only the thread count. Okay, idle threads and busy threads. In fact,
But
what I'll do is, since you asked for this questions on thread, right? I want to have some 20 minutes on a particular topic. Let me go to my thread topic so that you might get some more information on this. Okay, so for others who are wondering about what we are talking about, the threads, right? I'll just try to do an analogy with thread with the Swiggy kind of app, okay, or Swiggy kind of food delivery process, okay, for us to just understand how the thread works, okay. So we all know the Zomato or Zepto or Swiggy, right? All these are all various food or grocery apps. There are going to be delivery folks who are going to be deployed by the respective teams, right? So what they do is they will just wait for somewhere the restaurant and then wait for the orders, basically, right? So I, as a user, I'll probably open the Swiggy app and then I'll order a food, right? So what will happen is, say for example, there are 10 delivery folks who are idle, okay. When I go to order it, one of the delivery people will get assigned, and he will wait until a food is getting processed. He will wait, and then he will pick it once it is ready, and then he will deliver it. Similarly, depending upon multiple requests, the request will get assigned to the available delivery people, and then they will wait for the food to get processed, and then they will deliver it. Right? That's how the process works. Okay, so randomly these things will get assigned, and then it will get delivered. If there are too many requests, obviously the wait time is going to be more because the delivery folks are going to be very busy during the peak time, right? Which means these delivery folks will be sometimes very idle. They might be waiting for the food to be processed, and they will get busy delivering it, right? And the status will get moved between different status, right? And what happens in Swiggy or other Zomato is they have this peak hour and non-peak hour concept, right? In the evening or maybe in the mornings, there might be too many traffic. So what they will do is they will deploy maybe 10 or 15 people for a particular location. And in non-peak hours, like in the afternoon or early in the evening, right, the traffic is going to be very less. So they might be having only 4 or 5 maybe in a location. Okay, so again, which means to handle traffic, there are going to be min and max, right? So that's how the whole food app delivery works, right? Now coming to our thread concept, it is a little similar. In your server as well, there are going to be threads that are going to get created and be available for to take the work to take the task that is getting assigned. Okay, so for example, if I probably wanted to draw this. Okay, if you want to draw this, right? Say for example, mine is the Amazon. If I'm going to access the Amazon app, okay, Amazon.com. Okay, and there might be many people who will be accessing the Amazon.com, right? So and you're going to have your Amazon server. Amazon server, right? So here in Amazon server, there might be you will have say 10 threads. Okay, your Amazon server is configured with 10 threads. So initially, what will happen is if there are no users are going to access your Amazon.com, all the 10 threads are going to be in a idle state, right? There is no traffic. When I'm going to access the Amazon.com, okay, for login or for doing a search, whatever it is, the first thread will get, or any other thread within the 10 will get the task. Similarly, when somebody is going to access the Amazon.com from their own laptop, the request will go to the second thread. Similarly, depending upon the traffic, all this 10 will get busy, right? So again, when there is no usage, the thread will go to a idle state. So it might move between idle, busy. Sometime it might go to waiting. Sometime it might go to the blocking state. So similar to your Swiggy or other Zomato app, here as well, threads are the one which are going to be your task handler. Okay, threads are the task handler, which is going to be between your actual code execution and your client, right? So when an end user is going to access the Amazon.com, the request comes to your server. It will get assigned to a thread, and thread will actually go and execute that piece of code, and then it is going to deliver the response back to the user, right? And similar to the peak and non-peak traffic, here as well, you would be able to go and configure the min and max, because maybe in the morning hours there will be many traffic, huge traffic. Maybe in the night it will be very less, right? So to handle this kind of fluctuation, you have an option to provide a min and max. The min means when JVM starts, those 5 or 8 will get started, whatever you give us a min, and then depending upon the traffic, it will increase from 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8. When traffic is going to come down, again it will come back to the 5. So the number of threads will move between min and max. It cannot go more than max. It cannot come less than min. Okay. So when it comes to states of thread, right, it will move between your when it gets created, it will be a new state, and then it will go into a runnable. Runnable is nothing but it is ready to get assigned. It is ready to start the work. So sometimes they will call it as a idle, or sometimes it is a parking state. That's called runnable. And then when a task is getting assigned, it goes into a running state. Okay, and then you can also go to a waiting state. I'll explain later what is that. Waiting can be a forced waiting in the code, or it can be blocked by other threads. Okay, and termination is when a thread is getting killed. It is a termination. Okay, what I will do is I will use this couple of tools to visually show you this. Okay, one is going to be your visual VM. Okay, the visual VM as well, I've uploaded this tool in the drive, or you can download it from the internet also. Okay, so let me go to the P folder and go to the visual VM. So this folder, you will get it downloaded from the drive, and go to the bin and then start the visual VM. So visual VM is one of the, like JConsole, what I showed you yesterday. Visual VM is, I don't know whether I showed you yesterday or not. JConsole is one of the SDK tool. If you go to Java folder, all these tools you'll be using it now and then. Okay, JConsole will be default available in your Java folder. Go to JDK bin and then JConsole. Yeah, JConsole. And JVisual VM is going to be another Java monitoring tool. You can download it from my drive, or you can download it from the internet also. Okay, so here you pick the Tomcat process and then say connect. Here as well, you'll be able to look into the Java memory, Java CPU, Java threads, all these things. And then similarly, the visual VM as well, go and pick the Tomcat and then go to the threads. Okay. Now what I will do is, let me go to the server.xml. See, in server.xml, we have given 5 as minimum thread and 8 as max thread, right? So, which means initially there is going to be only 5 threads. So if you come to Visual VM, you will see only 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And even in Dynatrace, if you go to Dynatrace,
So sorry to interrupt, sir. So what are we learning? Are we learning the monitoring? Which is this first topic, sir? Like I'm not understanding what you are.
no. Today, we haven't started the topic at all. Since there were questions around thread, I just want to spend some time on thread. Anyway, the plan for today is 2 things I told at the beginning, right? First thing on the installation and deployment of this Tomcat and war file, which we did earlier. And second is I want to take a topic randomly and go over that just for you to get a feel of the teaching and teaching style. More from a demonstration, I'm explaining this random topic of thread. Since there were questions around thread, I picked it for today. So actual thing will start from tomorrow. So as I mentioned yesterday, the topics are going to be in this order. So let me go that quickly since you've asked this question. So tomorrow will be actual day 1, and then we'll get started as per the plan what I showed you yesterday from this Java basics, JVM basics, and then into the response time analysis. That's how we'll go from tomorrow. So this is more of a random topic on threads.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you. But you'll also teach the thread, right? But I don't know the concept of the thread.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're right.
Oh.
Okay, so minimum is 5 thread, which we are given it in the your configuration file server.xml, right? And then here as well, if you see, there are 5 threads, all 5 are idle, 0 busy. That is the current state. 5 idle threads, 0 busy threads. And then in Visual VM also, if you see, there are 5 threads started. All are in orange state. Orange is park. It's all in a parking state or idle state, because we haven't hit any request so far, right? Now, if I'm going to, I'll do one thing. I'll go to my Jmeter, and then say I'll start the test with 3 users. Three concurrent users for the e-library JMX. Okay, I have a home page, I have a login, and a view librarian Jmeter script. Okay, this script is also available in the drive if you wanted to download, or if you want to create, you can create your own. Now, once I start the test, right, you will see the executed 3 is went into running and sleeping, 4 again running and sleeping, 5 running and sleeping. So 3 threads are getting busy, moving between sleeping, parking, running. It toggles between 3, right? Any point of time, you will see 3 threads are going to be somewhat active. Okay, and now, or 3 or 4 or 2, whatever it is. So if I go back here, if I go and pick the last 15 minutes, if you see here, there are 1 busy threads, 4 idle threads. So from 0 busy thread, now it's showing 1. Maybe it will take some 30 seconds, 1 minute for this to get refreshed. Okay, so what I will do is let me try to go and pick a custom. Okay, let it be 30 minutes itself. That's okay. Okay, so you will see busy threads going from 1 to 2 after a couple of seconds, or after a minute. There will be little time difference between what you do here versus what you see it in the Dynatrace, because of the cloud. The data have to send to a cloud, and then to get reflected, it is going to take some time. Okay, I'll try to do an hard refresh. Let's see.
Hello. Yeah, Satish, I have one question. Satish, like when you trigger the test with three users, so but you trigger test from Jmeter, right? And the threads are configured in your application. So in application, like only 3 threads going to be triggered because there are multiple functions in your application. So so all the threads, or maybe so the number of users and number of threads can't they should not be the same, right? Because
I
what
understood.
which
I understood your question. I understood your question. See, whatever we give it here is the concurrent user, right? So don't read this as a thread. Just read it as a concurrent user. That's a number one. And then every user, what he is going to do is going to click homepage, click login, click view librarian. Okay, every user is going to do this sequentially. Correct. So, which means that ideally, one user will use a one thread. It's not going to be exact math, but since we have given 3 concurrent users, if you see even in Dynatrace, mostly you have around 2.5 or 3 threads which are busy at any point of time. Okay, so see, the home page might have finished very quickly, which means that thread will be assigned to a another user's login. So randomly the threads are going to be used, but any point of time it will be between 2 or 3 the threads will be busy. That's why you see 2.67 here. Okay, so for 3 concurrent users, almost 2 or 3 threads are getting used at any point of time. Okay, it is not, see, since all these things are all sequential, right? For one user, homepage, login, view librarian is going to be sequential only. So any point of time you might not need more than 3 or 4 threads here. Okay, now let me do one thing. Okay, let me do one thing. I will stop the test. Okay, and then I'll start the test with, say, 5 concurrent users. Now in the visual VM, you will see either 4 or 5 are getting busy. If you see here, in fact, all 5 got a task here. All 5 went into green. It goes into a sleep because there is a sleeping code in the login. So that's why it's goes to a sleep mode. So again, it goes to parking mode. It goes to a running mode. So pretty much you will see any point of time, you will see 4 or 5 threads getting busy here. Okay.
assuming
So
that
if you
one
go here,
like
go ahead.
so we have different kind of threads. Like some are the worker thread and some of the event loop threads are there, right? So will we covering all those in this tutorial, or like we only go with the conceptual thing of what threads are going to be in Tomcat, or like how the threads work?
Yes. Yeah, true. We are going to look into the application threads.
Okay.
Satish, what does monitor thread mean?
Sorry.
What does monitor thread mean? There's a on the bottom, if you go to the other tab where you are showing the threads, yeah. So there is running, sleeping, wait, park, and the monitor.
Okay. Yeah.
What does
So
monitor mean?
these are the different states of thread, right? Now, if I go back to my slide, I'll explain you. The it's a active, or in here it is green color. This running. Runnable is parking. Okay, it is not having any work. It is in the parking state. This waiting can be a timed waiting. So waiting can be sleeping, or a wait, or a monitor. Monitor is kind of a blocked state. A thread can go into a monitor state or a blocked state because of that thread is getting blocked by another thread. We call it as a synchronization. Okay, we will go into that topic later. But to answer your question, monitor is nothing but a thread is getting blocked. Okay, in between execution,
Okay.
it is getting stopped temporarily because the resource that is required for a thread is not available, and it is used by some other threads. So that's a very simple explanation, but I'll explain it in detail later. Okay,
So
it
it
is a
is like
block state.
waiting for object monitor. Is it something like
Yes,
that? From
yes,
thread
yes,
dump,
yes,
we usually see that, right? Timed
yes. You're
waiting
right.
and waiting for object monitor.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, yeah. We'll be looking into those monitor state. Why the monitor state is coming? What is the code behind it? What is synchronization? We will take the thread dump and analyze it. All these things we will be learning it later.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you see, if I refresh this, right, you will see in Dynatrace as well. Pretty much all threads are busy now. Right. So 4.5, almost out of 5, 4.5 threads are, which means some point of time it is 4, some point of time it is 5. There is nothing called 4.5, right? It is just averaging it out. Some point of time it is 4 threads are busy. Sometimes it is 5 threads are busy. Now, what I will do is I'll stop the test and increase the user to 8. Okay. Now what will happen is your JVM will know that 5 threads are not going to be enough. So in the server.xml, we have -5, max as 8, right? So now the JVM will try to go and create additional threads. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You will see that additional threads are getting created. Now see 6, 7, 8. All 8 threads are got created. You cannot go beyond 8 anyway. Okay, so that's how the JVM will create additional threads. As it sees more traffic, it will go and create additional threads. From min, it went to, from 5, it went to 8. Okay, now in Dynatrace also automatically you will see that is coming. After a few seconds, you will see number of threads going from 5 to 8. So those,
If
yeah, go ahead.
we would have given 9 threads, then that one extra request will be straight away rejected, right? Or will it be
It won't be
in waiting
rejected.
status?
It will wait. It will wait. It will be queued.
So in Visual VM, we would see 9 threads. Am I right?
Correct.
Okay.
No. See, this 8 are what you give to the server.xml.
Okay.
Okay, so don't confuse between. That's why I'm saying in Jmeter, the terminology in Jmeter is called thread because Jmeter is a Java-based application. Okay, don't even consider this word thread here. Assuming that, just assume that it is a concurrent user. What you give this 8 is a concurrent user. Okay, so from Jmeter, you assign a concurrent user value here. Application will take the thread count from configuration file, which is a max thread here.
Got it.
Okay, so whatever you configure, this will be used to serve your number of concurrent users.
Okay. So Visual VM at any point we have max 8 execution thread. Even though we have configured 9 thread, the 9th thread will actually wait for some of the
Yes,
resources or for some of the
yes,
thread to clear
yes.
off, and then only it will execute.
You're right. You're right. Exactly.
Got it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's correct.
Oh, got it.
Okay. Now, if you see even Dynatrace, right, it is showing the busy threads at 6.83 and idle thread is
But if it is in
1.17.
loop,
So
Satish,
somewhere,
it will never get end. Na? If it is in loop, 8 threads are in loop, then it is never get. It will be always in a waiting state only. It will never get occupied.
no.
The ninth one.
Randomly, it is going to serve. Randomly, it will go and serve. Okay. So it will not know there are 9 users or 10 users. It is only request, right? It will handle the request in a round robin way. So you whichever request came in, say for example in your Jmeter, user 1, 2, 3, 4 are there, right? First home page will come,
Right.
second login will come. So it is not per session. There's not going to be a what to say, a binding. There's no thread will get permanently assigned to a user. It will just handle request by request. So which means it's a round robin. The user 1 might also have to wait at some point of time for a view librarian because a 10th user is doing a login. So it is at the request level, not at the user level. So it's going to be complete round robin.
Okay. So at the time, 8 threads will be executed. Other 1 or 2 will be get parked. When they will utilize, as far as the memory will release, it will next one will take the next task. Right?
When a thread becomes free, it will take up the
Free.
next request.
Next.
Yeah, that's the reason. Normally, what will happen is in the stress test, right? When you do a load test with 1,000 users, okay, you might have configured 400 threads or 500 threads, and everything will be all okay. Response time will be good. When you're trying to run a 2x load with 2,000 users, you might not go and modify the threads. So in that time, what will happen is, because of the less threads and your response time will shoot up. Okay, we'll talk about this benchmarking and all later, but that's a typical use case or typical problem that we face because of the threads are not enough available during a stress test. 2x load test, you will see a high response time problem. Then we will go and adjust that thread and then rerun that 2x load or 3x load. Okay, now when I stop the test, what will happen is your server or JVM will automatically will see that there is no traffic or less traffic is coming on. After a minute or after a few seconds, it will shut down or terminate your remaining one thread or two thread or three thread, but it will retain the minimum of 5. So after a few seconds, right, you will see randomly 3 of these will get terminated. Because JVM will not keep additional threads, even though it is in a parking state. Every thread created, it is going to consume CPU. Okay, thread and CPU are directly proportional. So additional 3 threads will get terminated at some point of time. After a few seconds, sometime it can be after a minute, 2 minutes. It will those 3 will get terminated. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think it is getting. So now 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 5 threads are now in the system. Other 3 are terminated. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll pass here, guys. I think full-fledged from day 1 will get started from tomorrow. If anybody have any questions around the session topics or installation softwares, yeah, let me know.
Sir, actually, for today, so we should install only a Tomcat. We should be ready in our system, right? As of today.
As from tomorrow, right, for you to do an hands-on after the sessions are over the next day, at least for next 3-4 days, right? You make sure that you have a Java, you have a Eclipse, because we might be doing some kind of a programs tomorrow, Java programming. For that, if you have Eclipse, it is good, and Tomcat, and then the war file deployed. So these 3 things, try to have it. Eclipse also, you can download it. I think I should have the Eclipse also in my drive. If we go to this, you can download the Eclipse from the internet also. It is also going to be very straightforward. Either you're going to download the zip file and use it, or you can use it from my drive itself. Okay.
When
So
would
3
we
things:
get
the Eclipse, Tomcat, and then the WAR file. Yeah, go ahead.
when would we get access to the drive, Satish?
Whoever registered, right, and made payment, just ping me your Gmail account or email ID. I'll give you access right away today or tomorrow morning.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, one general question. Once we become a performance engineer, right? So we'll play 2 roles, right? As a performance tester plus the performance engineer. Right from the test script development, what the performance testing we'll do in the Jmeter, till the end of the performance engineer will do, right?
Depends, depending upon your role as well. See, if you are a test lead or performance test lead, you might not be involved in scripting. Maybe you'll be involved in NFR, strategy, execution, monitoring, and engineering. Or in a in a project where there's a huge work going on, it's a greenfield implementation, then you will have a tester separately, you will also have engineers separately. But in most of the projects, as you said, in nowadays in agile projects, you'll have one or two people who have to do everything, right? From scripting, execution, monitoring, engineering, everything. So it really depends. But whatever you said is the most commonly happening in the current scenario.
Yeah, okay, sir, got it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, fine. Anybody have any other question, guys?
Yeah, I have one question. So can we also teach on how to make OQA queries when we do heap analysis?
What is that? Sorry.
OQL, object query language. In heap analysis via MAT, we have that, right? Where we could make queries and find subclasses, objects, and everything.
Uh, no, I'm not aware of that, because we take the dump and then we analyze
Okay.
it using Eclipse Mat.
Okay. In
That is,
MAT,
I'm not aware of.
okay. So basically in MAT, there's an option, right, where we could query the objects and everything. There's a
Okay. See,
yeah.
so to go and query the particular thing from dump, you can use those queries, but to analyze a dump, we may not need to go to that level. We can look into the stack trace, or we can look into the leak analysis, right? We can do a leak analysis, and then your map will provide you the leak suspects. And if you go into the leak suspect, you should be able to list down what are the leaks are identified. And for each of the leaks, you can go into the details to see where it is leaking, which object, and the root cause of that object we'll be able to find out. Let me check whatever you're saying, and if it is required, I'll try to include that, because I haven't done it, but let me look into it and get back to you.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Satish, I have one question. So for SaaS-based applications, the approach of the performance engineering is same, like, right? Similar
Good
to
question. Good. No, good question. It is not actually. For a SaaS-based application, there are two kind of users, right? One, in your company, you are purchasing a SaaS. You are going to access the SaaS-based application. For example, Udemy, if you take it, right? If you are working in, say, Accenture, okay, and you are going to get a Udemy for your entire employees. Okay, the account is going to be, say, for example, udemy.accenture.com, or even if you take a Dynatrace itself as a product, SaaS product, right? If you go back to Dynatrace, it will have a tenant. So if you are going to consume Dynatrace in your organization, you will say you will ask a vendor, Dynatrace vendor, saying that in my company, 1,000 people are going to use Dynatrace, or 1,000 people are going to use Udemy. Okay, I want the Udemy to be available 100%, and then it has to be fast. Okay, and to make sure that it is all working good within Accenture, for example, you will have your own team, performance testing team. They will not do any load testing at all. Okay, they might be just doing a end user validation. They will just probably navigate through and then see whether the experience is good, response time is good. You will do only a very basic validation at a end user level. You will not allow to do any load testing on the SaaS product. But in the other hand, if you are going to be part of the Udemy team itself, if you're going to be part of the Dynatrace team itself, right, then it's your own product, and you're going to make that available for your end customers. Then you will do all the load testing, engineering, everything, if you're going to be part of the actual SaaS team itself. So whether you're going to purchase the product and you're going to consume it, then you will not do any load testing. it will be taken care by the respective SaaS team itself. They will have a SLA, SLO, SLAs to comply on the availability and response time. So for a SaaS product, if you are going to consume it, your organization is going to consume it like a Salesforce, right? Salesforce is another example. If the Salesforce is going to be used by your organization, okay, and you will not do any testing, performance testing on SaaS product on the Salesforce. Salesforce team will ensure it. You will just validate it. You will validate whether the response times are good, whether you could able to go to a critical transaction, complete it in 3 seconds, 5 seconds. As a performance team or as a quality team, you will just validate and ensure. So that's how it is going to be difference between SaaS product and your normal application. So that's a very good question, and that's how we handle it. Okay, hope you got the answer.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, fine. Is anything related to registration or payment? Reach out to Kumar sir or the WhatsApp admin. Anything related to the topics, applicability of the course for you, your experience, skill set, you reach out to me. I'll again ping my number in the WhatsApp group. Please reach out to me. Okay, thanks guys, and then tomorrow we'll get started with the day one. So yeah, be prepared for that, and then we'll meet tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, thanks guys. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.